In this demo, we'll extend the put action, update course for author, so it supports upserting. We're looking at that action right now. We've got code here that will return a 404 not found if the course we're trying to update doesn't exist yet. This is the part we need to change. If the course doesn't exist yet, we want to create it. So let's get rid of that not found statement. And let's map the course from the request body to a course entity. It's the entity we want to add. We also want to set the ID of that course to the ID that's coming in via the URI, because it is that course that we want to create. And this is where I can refer back to something I said earlier. Remember previously that we looked into the add author method on our repository, and I mentioned that there was a good reason for not using identity columns. I wanted to be able to show you this principle of upserting, which requires us to set the ID to whatever's incoming and not let that be decided on at database level. Anyway, back to our update course for author action. So we set the ID of the course to add to the incoming ID. And then we call add course on our repository, passing through the author ID and the course to add. Up next is saving the changes, for which we call save async on the repository. After this, we must return something. If we are upserting, we are creating something. So we should return a 201 created status code. The response body should contain the created course and a location header. In other words, this is exactly the same as what we did when posting. So let me paste that in. First of all, we map the course we just added to a DTO. And then we use the created @route helper method, passing through the name of the route that will be used for the location header as the first parameter value. That's the name we gave to the route leading to the get action for one course. The route template expects an author ID and a course ID, so we pass that through as an anonymous object. The third parameter value is the course to return, which will end up serialized to the response body. Let's give this a try. We've got a put statement lined up here that tries to update a course for an author, but the course does not exist. This is thus a request that can be used for upserting. Let's send it. And this indeed seems to work. We get back a 201 created. Let's have a look at the location header and try getting this one just to make sure that all of this effectively worked. And there we go. Works as expected. If we send this same request again, we should no longer get back a 201 created. Instead, we should get back a 204 no content. And that is the case as well. Sending that same request again this time resulted in an update, which in fact didn't update anything because we've sent over the exact same fields. This means that we are still adhering to the fact that put is idempotent, even when using it to create a resource. So, if you consider doing something with a specific action, keep that idempotency principle in mind. Put must be idempotent, so you cannot put to, say, API/authors and create a resource if you don't have the ID in advance. Because doing that would mean it's not idempotent anymore. Executing the action different times will result in different resources, and that is not okay. So, if you're ever in doubt whether something is allowed with a specific HTTP verb, the idempotency and safety linked to a verb really helps with figuring that out. Patch can be used for upserting as well. Let's implement support for that next.